So once again I remind you how the confidence, how the freedom of the mind to to reflect upon a so-called word for its concept or for its meaning or the meaning that you already know, and then uh, then try to interpret it, elaborate it, expand it, and then at a little higher orbit go to the referent, and then again the next higher orbit, the referent reality, linkages of that. And if a word is given, if a topic is given, you should see what it is about. That's the basic competency which every one of you must develop, especially people who are going to be in leadership position, or even others, if you mentor somebody, to guide somebody, or even for your own evolution, and by reading wonderful ideas of others in the great books, without which no evolution is possible. Understand that. People are all following the fundamental education paradigm. They are all mugging up, or they are all just comprehending what is given in the book. Dead sentences, structured sentences, lifeless sentences in the printed book, or heard from somebody. If people could evolve by hearing to someone, reading books, the world would have been already a great place with a great number of evolved individuals. As a researcher, I have been interacting with especially highly qualified doctorate holding professors mainly, then interacted with so many managers, including senior managers, most of them having work experience abroad, and I have realized very clearly they do not have the confidence or maybe the lack of analytical thinking ability to talk something about an idea given. Okay? Then how are they going to develop further? You see, millions of people are reading Bible, hearing Bible, or reading Gita, hearing Gita. Nothing happens to them because they are all limited by comprehending the language. Language is only indicative. Language is reporting a phenomenon, an event, or a reality, or a situation, or a context, or a phenomenon. You have to see the phenomenon, deriving clues from the available language. Okay? So come on, what do you want to say by these concepts? Attention and Trinity. Think. Come on, talk. Freak out. Yes. You know something about attention already. How do you connect it with the body, mind and intellect? Forget about Trinity. In which all way you can find examples, you can apply your analytical thinking and interpret this relationship between attention and body. 1. Attention and mind. 2. And attention and intellect. 3. And at a different level, attention to the combination of all the three. Come on, yes, proceed. So, why do you say full potential? Even normal functions of the body. Of course, high potential, you are right. That's an altogether different domain. By attention, you develop the highest potentials of the body, mind and intellect. It's a different topic. Alright? So, a simple statement is, by attention only, one will become aware of or conscious about or sense whatever is going on in the body, or whatever is in the mind, or whatever is the subject of whatever functions of the intellect. Okay. So, would you like to revise it once again, Naveen, a little more clearly? But I am surprised, how could you say that the body also can facilitate attention, mind also can facilitate attention, intellect also can facilitate attention. What made you think so? That is also surprisingly a reverse effect, that also is possible. That's what is most of the time happening with most of the people. Is that why you said that? then you are observing. All right, okay, that is your thinking diagram. Okay, all right, proceed. Very beautiful, Nitya. That, of course, body and attention. Okay, you are simply sitting, somebody touches you. So that body has induced attention. Okay, all right. Similarly, somebody tells you something that affects your mind, and that content in the mind commands your attention to that person or the contents in the mind. All right. Similarly, intellect. You are just watching a beautiful film or a wonderful film, and the contents of that film, which you appreciate, and it leads to your attention, and you feel more about it, and you have tears in your eyes. Yes, wonderful. Yeah. No, do not bring in other things. Okay, no. Well, okay, when you say that, why did you say that? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by what you said now? No. You cannot, your syntax has to be precisely suitable to your discovery. You said that when I am looking at the bottle, then you are paying attention. Or when a bottle is taking your attention, you come on to your office table, suddenly you see a strange bottle there. So appearance of that bottle is commanding your attention. That's how you have to talk. Alright, when it happens, what is the... so therefore... Yeah, you are talking something very different. Go on. Alright. Yeah, sense organs help you to identify. But the topic is attention. Do you mean to say that the sense data will command your attention? Yes, it commands your attention. But does it command the full attention, like Naveen said? Does it command the complete attention of you? That is the question. That is the requirement. Okay. You cannot, like Newton was not sitting under somewhere, tree or whatever, to focus on thinking, going on, intending what to see, what next to see, what next to see, nothing. Falling off an apple or a stone captured his attention, and he started thinking about that, reflecting on that. Yeah. That's what happens. So that kind of happenings are always going on in your existence also. But most of the time your movements are in restricted familiar areas of job or work situation or environment or your home or the people. Therefore, normally there is nothing new, so-called new to observe. And new may not happen all the time. Stone falling is not a new thing. A girl standing alone is not a new thing. The lid of the boiling pot moving is not a new thing. So you have a wonderful point, of course. The body only commands attention, yes. Most of the time. But we have to proceed in another dimension of our attention commanding our understanding. That is the topic, that is the item which we will be discussing today, subsequently. Okay. Body commanding attention, like Tintin said in the first day itself, the sensations of the body, including touch and pain included, including inner body sensations, commanding our attention. That is, it's a survival function. So that nobody needs any training. Alright? It's a survival function. It is there even with an ant or a cat or a bird or an amoeba or an earthworm. Survival function. But at the human level, at the genius in self level, we will be considering how our attention can independently consider a sense data or a thought data or an experience data or a feeling data or an imagination data or a visualization data or a vague insight data and proceed further and capture a new territory of experience or feeling or whatever. Attention creating all those things. That is our topic of genius in self. Attention controlling the body. To what extent normally your attention goes to the movements of your body? To what extent your attention goes to the expressions of your body? To the responses of your body? To the ways of doing, to the ways of relationships, to the ways of language. So the first aspect. To what level, to what degree, to what depth your attention goes to your body. Normal body. Of course, when there is pain or some problem in the digestive system or some inclement weather and all that, survival function, definitely your attention will be trapped by those stimulus situations. But by your own attention, what is possible? Why don't you start trying for that? I will tell you an example of so-called hypnotic sleep. Hypnotic sleep is a great evidence of the wonderful potentiality of the central nervous system, the mysterious magic of the central nervous system, the mysterious magic of the mind, and the mysterious magic of the intellect. For example, you put somebody into hypnotic sleep and then you say you are being touched by a feather and you actually cut his hand with a blade and the blood will come out and he will show all expressions of being touched by a feather. Okay? In deep hypnotic stage you can even do operations. Then that is the connection between attention, because his attention to that body experience is controlled by the instruction of the therapist that I am touching your hand with a feather. But in our so-called wakeful state of consciousness, it is rather impossible. Or you say, now say your hand, the therapist extends the hand like this and say, now nobody can fold it. And even 2-3 people trying to fold it, it won't fold. It may even break. Then look at the capacity of Bruce Lee or other people. They have developed it as a result of terrible dimensions of practice to get the conscious attention to maintain the hand like that. Okay, these are all extreme examples, you don't have to do it, but you have to consider to what extent your attention can control your body movements and body processes a second aspect. Another example, another lateral example. I told you about a case reported in some of the psychology textbooks. Or even you can observe, some guy is walking through a rail. Okay? And he is walking. And someone says, so are you walking? Or you will fall down, and he falls down. And all your body competencies depend upon your attention power, the way you drive, the way a four-wheeler or a bike, or the way you play guitar or the way you play piano or violin. All this depends upon the degree of attention one is able to command with the body movements. Okay, you have an extent of command. Where can you give examples of your command of attention on your body movements? For example, okay, you walk, you know how much time a baby took to walk. You can eat using the spoon or a fork or the Chinese things. Uh, then you can drive a bicycle or a bike or a car. What else? I give you some examples. Now, can you give one or two more examples of your attention that train the body movements? Okay. Anything else? Something that you always do? Huh? No, no, no. I am telling about learned activity. Ah, of course, writing. This took a lot of time, and as a master in handwriting analysis or graphology, now I forgot it, but I had mastered it long back. A person's level attention control and thereby other competences can be clearly identified from the very pattern of handwriting. See, we are talking about attention and body movements. That's why indirectly you have to train your handwriting to become more elegant and more under your control. It should be ideally elegant, not necessarily very calligraphic. By doing that, your attention becomes empowered and thereby your central nervous system. That's why I have tried to create a little bit of competencies to learn and many other things in people, in students especially, by changing their handwriting, even changing just their signatures. So whenever you write it with your attention. Do not do it as a involuntary activity which you mastered during your childhood. And nowadays children are not writing, as a result their attention is not developing. By playing computer games or pressing buttons, they think that they are developing something. Not at all. They are just pressing buttons only. The game is in the screen. The game is in the program design. And they think that they do it. They are nothing but they are just pressing buttons only. Future carries a great scope for every one of you. In another 10 years of time, the current population of between 18 to 25 to 30 will be 40, 45, and they all will be miserably incompetent people, including those who work in so-called responsible positions. I told you about work situation. Almost anybody can do it by observing other people and repeating the regimented, controlled procedures. They don't have to do anything new. Attention to details. It is controlled by the you. Otherwise your attention will be captured by some significant changes in the operating environment or something new or etc. etc. A mere survival function. But attention to details of the environment, the physical environment, your office room, your walking place, your motor car, your home space, or the people you come across, or the events you come across, or the context you come across. There the attention to details is by your control. And that also is very minimal with a great lot of people. Very, very extremely minimal. Especially educated modern fellows, they have almost nothing. So, develop your attention to details just like that look as I told you some time back. That is attention under your control. Otherwise, just imagine you are just automatically walking, automatically doing cooking, automatically dressing up, automatically looking and taking care of your grooming, automatically wearing your dress, automatically driving your car, automatically working in the office, etc., etc. All trained, conditioned responses. Apply your attention. Do not wait for a miracle to happen so that you focus attention. That any idiot can. Even a mentally retarded child will look at a blooming flame on the other side suddenly appearing. Attention and body. Here comes the importance of so-called yoga positions. That positions are not yoga. Okay, that's the way it is known. All the yoga positions are slightly contorted positions of the body. Simply sitting there, millions of ordinary people are doing, nothing will work. They have to focus their attention on the body posture, body feeling, body experience in the way they are sitting in the so-called yoga position. Otherwise it is mechanical doing of something without knowing anything about it. For example, again attention. Millions of people are doing pranayama. Nothing happens because they don't know where to focus attention on. They are doing it mechanically. The other day I told you, you don't have to do any pranayama. You just focus your attention on your ongoing respiration. At least when you are on the bed, or when you are talking, or when you are sitting and working in the office table. Attention and body. So what more examples you would like to do, practice? What will you practice? What will you choose? Alright, 1, 2. Make the upper sounds, you know, the higher loop of T, H, L, F, etc. More high, more tall. For example, as an extreme step, once in a while you try to write with your left hand if you are a right-hander. Not necessarily in office time, at least when you write a slip for buying things from market, or when you are writing a post-its in the message board, etc. When you try that, you will know what amount of attention is required to control the movements of the left hand if you are a right-hander. I would also suggest once in a while eat with your left hand, which is more powerful. Why eating with the left hand is more powerful in training the attention? Come on. Attention to the body. Attention to the body meaning attention develops not only for the body, attention develops meaning attention developed. It will reflect, it will generalize into other things also. But my question now is, eating with the left hand, if you are eating with the right hand, is more conducive to train the attention, to sharpen the attention. Why? Okay. We are all, in the Genius and Self program, we are all trying to evolve to the best possible configuration of our attention, our sensation, our perception, our control over our body, mind and intellect. Because these are the three things. These are the three things which determine the greatest human entity. A Patanjali or a Dhanvantari or a Vagbhata or a Tagore or a Bruce Lee or the super competent. I am just talking examples. But their activities demanded that level of attention. We are not learning karate or kung fu or sword. Alright? We are not learning dance or gymnastics. Therefore, our attention does not have much responsibilities. We are all operating in a very comfortable, convenient, already planned, systematized environment. So, in that environment, these are the only ways by which we can meet, we can come across the power of our attendant spirit. Get the point? In fact, if you look into the literature of sword play or kung fu or karate, they all mastered it to master their self, to become genius in self, not to go around and kill people. Okay, among another question, among the martial arts, okay, I suppose you know most of the martial arts, well known. Sword, using sword is the most conducive to train your attention. Why? So, a great majority of people, as I told you, living in comfortable environment, planned environment, known environment, familiar environment. Familiar working, familiar people, familiar activities, familiar relationships, and familiar languages. You see, just to see, just imagine, do you see how LOW low human beings are? Now, don't you understand why human beings are suffering from internal conflicts and their inability to manage their own minds? Because they don't have that kind of a power of attention to demand, no, I don't want to think this, I want to think that. Their attention is just a victim of the passing thoughts, or disturbing thoughts, or depressing thoughts, or whatever. Because their attention is not trained. Now coming to the second aspect of mind, which Naveen said, our memories, our thought process, etc., etc. Now, almost no control. Because attention is ineffective. These are all important, not now. Even now it is important, but it may not be that critical for you because your job unfortunately does not require that level of attention. But apply your attention nevertheless. Even when you write the most regular notes, regular emails, regular messages, and like Ganesh pointed out, there is the modern generation has become impatient also. They don't have, thereby attention is all the more lost. Because they are familiar with the technologies, they just press the button, things are happening. Just even manual gear car is shifted to automatic gears. Now human beings have to primarily now they don't have to do anything. And companies like Tesla is coming with automatic driver car. What a bloody nonsense it is. That beautiful experience of driving also is taken out of human being. Now what is the need? Why human beings are required? Oh, forget about creative side. Normal side is taken by the machine. Normal side of welding and other assembling of engine parts and all your normal functions are taken out. Normal functions like even writing. It is done on the pressing buttons and they think they are writing. They are just pressing buttons only. But they are in a mistaken world that they are writing. Like stupid boys are thinking that I am playing a game. They are not playing a game. They are pressing buttons only. They don't realize that. Please. Precisely, precisely. I told you, Meenakshi wanted to buy an automatic car, automatic jeep. I said, no way. Buy a manual gear masculine Thor. Anyway, instantly she agreed. So, okay, even playing games will not do that. If you are regularly playing it, it is an automatic action. Okay, it gives a so-called exercise to the body, etc., etc. But do something that is very different from what you normally do. That only gives a shift. You have to shift, you have to take from one rung of the ladder to the next ladder. And attention is the core engine, I repeat. Okay? Most of the ideas which I am talking cannot be applied now. Genius is a rather highly evolved state of human entities. It may take some time. Okay? And every moment your attention is going through this kind of sessions, it is getting sharpened in a different way, no doubt about that. But there is another perspective. All these ideologies and methodologies will be required for you the day you retire. Then your full blooming should happen. Till then there is no scope for blooming. Even if you become a CEO of a company with all the rights given to you, you cannot have all the blooming applicable, no doubt about that. Especially in modern companies which are driven only by profit motives. But all these competencies, all this power of attention will be of great advantage the day you reach your final chapter of existence. That is where the blooming also is required. What is the point? You have all the facilities in the world during your work time, or like Bill Gates and all that, even after your work time. But if your attention is not able to manage your mind in a peaceful way, unless you have that happiness purpose, the pleasure principle, that peace, that calm existential state, none of this matters. Those who do not have that much of money may think that those who are having money are in a good mind. Not at all. They are not at all peaceful. Because whatever is there, that is not sensed by the attention. Okay? Bill Gates have $1 billion, okay. But that other people see that. But he doesn't feel it. He is looking for the next 1 billion. Okay? You can also feel, you can also think, for example, are you really, really thrilled about things that you already have? Your car, your house, your other tools, your available job position, your available things, are you fully fully contented with all those things and ready to stop? Okay, now I have everything, now I don't have to worry that much. Are you really? Still you are looking for the next amount increasing, next promotion, next this thing. In other words, that is okay. What I am telling is, the mind is a trap to make you continuously craving for the next level. Anyway, why I said this is, just do not mistake that the billionaires and the affluent people are living in some happy, beautiful state. Not at all. That is possible only by the power of attention, only by a wisdom, mind of wisdom and understanding. And your real blooming should happen after your retirement, as you reach your old age. This Genius Self program is aiming at that level. When you reach that old age, you will definitely see that everybody around is miserable. Even now, even I see that. I have not come across. Retired Chief Justice, retired Professor, retired Vice Chancellor, great lot of big people as well as ordinary people I know. Of course, most of the ordinary people are okay. But especially educated, intelligent people who had a lot of money, who had highly paying jobs, they become the most miserable after retirement. for various reasons. Okay, so attention as the central role which is which should control the body. Now about the body, we have to look at the inner aspect, the interior aspect. There is another sensation called proprioception, P-R-O-P-R-I-O-C-E-P-T-I-O-N, proprioception. That is, attention at its highest level, attention going to every part of the body. Then if you have a headache, you can change that headache. If you have a stomachache, you can make it disappear. If you have actual body pain in the legs or in the hips or in the ankles or in the hand or in the fingers, that can be vanished by the power of attention. I do that regularly. That inner attention to the interiors of the universe of your body. And so attention on the mind, attention on the intellect. Intellect is a general term to refer to, of course starting with observation. Attention, as Naveen said, is considered a part of intellect because of certain reasons. As I said, when you are reading something, your attention is required. When you are thinking something, your attention is required. When you are doing a complex job, your attention is required. Therefore, attention is put under that category. Forget about that category. But understand that attention is the centralmost engine given to the individual as a survival sustenance tool. Yes, ma'am. എന്ത് കേൾക്കലൊക്കെ ഇവരിൽ വെച്ചിട്ട് ഫോണിൽ കേട്ടൂടെ ആ ഗ്ലാസ്സിൽ ബിയർ വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടോ എന്ത് ഓഫ് ചെയ്യണോ വീഡിയോ ഓക്കെ For example, if you have a headache, attention is captured by the headache, like Nitya pointed out, like an external view. Suddenly a bulb is lighting in front of you, your attention will be trapped by that. Similarly, a pain will trap your attention. So instead of directing your attention to the headache region, you focus on the shoulders as if the pain is on the shoulder. Try that. Within 1 or 2 minutes, you would even forget that there was a headache. Whatever be the severity of headache. So to stomachache or body pain or neck pain or anything. Same way, when the so-called mind, what is that stupid thing nobody knows? Okay, when there are so-called thoughts, forget about the word mind. So-called thoughts are coming and so-called depressing you. What is depression? None of this is understood. Nobody investigates. They are all quickly accepting that I am depressed. This trained depression, disappointment, frustration, anger, sadness, all these are trained into the child by the so-called beloved parents. Okay, that is there. Now how can you escape? And escape is possible only with the help of the powerful engine of attention. That's what I want to say. You try it in your own way. You have to develop that reconceptualization. And that is the most important. That is the critical part. In a way, critical is attention and intellect for a higher order development of your genius. That we will just mention subsequently. The so-called emotions, so-called disturbing thoughts, and you have all the logic. Something is actually happening there. Let us say, husband is quarreling, or husband is doing some nonsense, or the boss is disturbing you. Okay, this is reality, let us say there, okay. But that subsequent depressive feeling, or frustration, or disappointment, or worry, or anxiety, these are all induced at 10 o'clock in the night. Something happened at 4 o'clock in the office, and at 10 o'clock night, that so-called thought is hunting you. This we mentioned. There also it is like the power of attention, which can be trained by various activities which I suggested. By that power of attention, like even a body pain can be changed. Anyway, thought is not as dominant as a body pain. Okay? If that body pain can be shifted or terminated, a thought can be definitely shifted, and a disturbing thought can be definitely terminated. But our so-called logic will not allow you, because I am supposed to be depressed, because my husband is doing that to me, or my wife is doing that to me, or my boss is doing that to me. So there is a logical support which justifies your feeling depressed, and you are happy being depressed. A lot of people think that depressed people are depressed. They are very happy because they are following a logic. I am supposed to be depressed, therefore they feel some kind of an okayness in depressed, They are logically happy, Nitya. Their logic is victorious there. Because such and such an incident has happened, therefore I am frustrated, therefore I am unhappy. Aha, beautiful. And they want to escape from that. So change the logic by the power of attention. That attention of Isaac Newton, by which the principles of gravitational forces were discovered, and that creativeness is the number one requirement for becoming a genius in self. I told you, genius in self is the highest genius. This I want to declare to the whole bloody world. They are all glorifying one Albert Einstein or somebody. Yes, they did something wonderful, but that is in the external world. But mastering the mind is the greatest mastery. Let them say no. And that is the challenge of genius in self. And the genius in self is a master of his mind, his or her mind. And I want every one of you to reach that level. That's why I am trying my best to explain all these things. How can your own mind destroy you, my dear friends? What a nonsense it is. How can you allow that? How can you even tell somebody, how can you even admit that I am disturbed by a bloody thought? Okay, at the time of its occurrence it may be painful, it may be we are sensing that event of a husband or a boss talking nonsense to you. At that time you confronted it, okay? Okay, there may be the consequence. But when it happens, you focus your attention on that happening moment. After that it is gone. After that it is carried in your head like the junior Zen master was carrying the girl. You should have the capacity of your attention to drop the girl. Why it is not possible? Yeah, please. But right now we are talking about how a so-called thought, a so-called depressing thought is trapping your attention. And mind you, a so-called happy event will not trap your attention to that extent. See? A first class first rank or that is forgotten. You are able to do a job wonderfully, that is forgotten. You got a beautiful job, just like that you forgot it. You got appreciation by your colleagues, that is forgotten. They are all forgotten. They are never celebrated. They are all simply Again, little so-called disturbing thoughts are glorified and feel justified about being a suffering hero. There's a beautiful Freudian explanation to that. The so-called suffering hero syndrome. Very surprisingly, a great lot of people are feeling internally happy by claiming that they are a suffering hero. That's a theatrical concept. You can see most of the heroes in films also suffering a lot. Jesus is a climax example. He suffered a lot. So everybody is very happy to be a suffering hero. And victories do not get registered in them and feel thereby good about them. See, the mind is always looking for what is missing. Let us say, there is one explanation. Okay, then why don't they look at the missing genius, missing competences? A lot of people are doing wonders. That they don't look at as missing, okay? Missing is the next salary improvement, missing is a so-called relationship, missing is some other thing, etc., etc. They don't see the greatest thing missing, the genius in them, the wonder in them, the greatness in them, the enlightenment in them. That they don't consider it as something missing. These are all traps of the mind, which are all conditioned by the environment, that attention is trapped. Attention goes there and there and there and there only. Like a physical pain is capturing the attention, a so-called mental thought also is trapping the attention. People cannot escape from that. So realize all these things. So try that your only tool is the power of attention. Do that. Change the gears of your attention, the way you want to drive your mind. Rather than the mind be automatically controlled by the remote operations of other people and other incidents and things like that. For which you need a wisdom also, like Nitya mentioned. You need wisdom, not precise technique for that. You need a wider perspective. Wider perspective is one of the common attributes of almost all the geniuses. Even though somebody is a genius in physics, he must have read most of the philosophies, or most of chemistry, most of history, all kinds of things. Have wide reading, wider perspective, wider exposure, wider observation to the details of the environment. Be just wide, get out of your concerns, take your attention out of you to the location, to the boundaries, to the horizons, to the mountains, to the vast skies and the stars and the birds. They are also eligible for attention. Do you focus your attention on a bird, on the sky, on a moving cloud, or the colors of the horizon, on the mountain tops, on a tree, on a butterfly, on a flower? To what extent? Is that a real attention that you pay, for example, the attention you pay to your beloved, your child, or to your precious possession, etc.? You may just look at it, that's all. That attention is not really genuine, not powered by love and concern and depth. Can you look at a flower like you look at the most romantic beloved of you? Why not? Why can't you? Almost many poets are capable of that. Why are you restricting all your attention to human beings and human beings alone? That is the tragedy of the stupid humanity. Not even their prized possessions, not even their huge wealth and glory and fame. Still their attention is captured by some other human beings, the wife or relatives or friends or public or anybody. Human beings are the only topic for stupid human beings. Every moment of their existence is directly powered by nature process. They don't give a damn to the nature process around. You must do that. You must look at a flower the same way you look at the eyes of the most beloved person. Try that. That's a much more serious experience of your attention. Not even eating with the left hand. And feel for the flower. Feel for a bird. You can. You can feel the mountains. You can feel the skies. You can feel the rains. You can feel the mist. You can feel the dewdrops. Do that. The same way you feel the touch of a beloved. That is the ultimate test of your attention. And feel the beauty of the bird that you is. How many of you can feel the beauty of you? Okay. How many of you can feel the wonder of you? Doubtlessly. You are all waiting for Nobel Prize to feel the wonder of you, okay? Your attention is taken away. If you are wonderful, that means what you call 12 million likes in the what you call Facebook or Instagram, or everybody coming and giving an applause to you. Who gave an applause to Jesus Christ? Who gave an applause to Krishna? Who gave an applause to the ancient rishis who created all the wonderful traditions of India? By the way, are you really ready to be the genius himself? Are you really inspired to become a genius himself? Tell me very frankly. Yeah. Then you will definitely become. A doubtless desire. Understand? A doubtless desire. That should be your constant desire. That should be your romantic affair with you. There's a lot of correlation between romantic love and real inspiration. Real inspired doing has almost all the attributes of a normal, conventional, ordinary romantic love. The boy is always keeping that photograph in the purse, all the time looking at her, craving to see her. Okay? All the time. Even in sleep. But that he is able to do because of the instinctual power of the sexual motivation. But your conscious motivation, your conscious inspiration, you should fall in a romantic love, romantic affair with the you, to see that the you become bloomed at some point of time. Like you want to see your daughter getting married to somebody very good and suitable, etc., etc. You should aspire for, you are getting yoga-fied, you are getting married to the highest state of you. Otherwise, what is the point of this central nervous system? What is the point of this human condition on earth? I don't want to say the animal condition. They are all much better beings in a way. Forget about that. Having given so much of horsepower, where are you driving you to? What all dimensions you are flying your existence to? What all wonders you want to see about you? And all this depends upon whatever this depends upon, every item of that I am discussing in our sessions, every item. I don't think anybody else is doing this. You look into the internet. Nobody else is covering this much of vast supporting areas to reach your genius and self. Nobody existing or existed. Check it in the internet. All the relevant domains I am covering. All the requirements to reach that position I am covering, including handwriting, including the way you eat, and of course the highest possible ideologies available, and discoveries I have had also. Don't worry, I have no doubt all these things will work in you. I have no doubt, of course. No doubt. These are all practicing rehearsal. You will do wonderful in the stage of your life, no doubt about that. Every other training who I was interested in, everyone of them has done that. You will also do. I am just reminding you with some strong dialogues, that's all. Which I must do, which you must also do when you are training somebody. Gentle dialogues may not work all the time. Okay? Yeah. Attention and intellect. The word intellect refers to your power of observation. Observation of anything. You must have heard that the principal method of all sciences is the method of observation, and almost any idiot also capable of observation. So not that observation, but the detailed observation to the visible and the invisible that drives the visibles. Then of course attention and sensation and perception, you don't have to worry about that, will happen. Then thinking. That not the normal thinking, creative analytic thinking. Understand that power of attention. For example, how a piece of stone carved in the form of a so-called deity, created by somebody first. Nobody knows how Shiva looked, how Krishna looked, how Parvati looked, how Jesus looked. Nobody knows. One wonderful creative genius boldly pictured the painting of Jesus or Krishna or Buddha, even including Buddha. Nobody now existing have seen Buddha. Okay? Nobody has seen Jesus Christ. Nobody has seen Krishna. Nobody has seen Shiva. Okay? One unique artist, he boldly created, this is the way. And everybody is just following it. Okay? How that confidence of that artist. Anyway, coming back, so somebody just identify a piece of stone and creates a statue or the form of so-called Jesus or Krishna or Shiva or Buddha or whoever, and how in a conventional temple, how that deity sometimes achieve a certain power. Not only in a temple, with all the religions and all the ideologies, how that belief achieves a power. It is by the power of attention. Anyway, I know how an idol in a temple is given that power. It is by 9 or sometimes 7 or 9 days of homams, mantrams and pujas. So, very, very competent, very dedicated, very sincere, very ethical, clean-minded pujaris sit down and do the homam, do the puja and do the mantrams, attributing power to that deity. And there are corresponding mantrams, corresponding pujas, corresponding materials used for homam. Homam meaning putting into fire, flowers or rice or whatever. There are so many items that are normally put into fire. By that, actually that piece of stone achieves certain power. Though unfortunately, those who go there do not have that power of attention, therefore they don't benefit. Of course, there is something more to it, because to tell you, in order to enter the parliament building, in order to enter a cinema hall, you need a protocol, you need a ticket. Similarly, to go to a temple, I know about temples, you should know the precise mantram of the deity of that temple, because that is the language of that deity. Without knowing that mantra, you go there, you do whatever nonsense, it will not work. That's a different thing. So what I am telling is, then only that attention correlates. Because that deity has been installed there by that power of the mantram. So you need that mantram to get a ticket into the office of that deity. So my point is not that. If a piece of stone can be attributed with real powers, I know that real power is possible with some temples, only some temples. But even into that some temple, the millions of people who go there, they would not benefit anything. But the one who knows the mantram, she only will benefit. That's a different story which I just mentioned as a piece of information. But what I am telling is, if a piece of stone can be elevated into that power, now what am I going to say? Yeah. Why not this live, flesh, blood, bone deity, entity cannot be elevated into that level of a deity? Not the conventional deity, but your own deity. What is preventing? What is wrong? I just don't understand. How can you, do you understand? You are able to pray to a statue inside the church or in the mosque or in the temple. What a wonder. Actually, it is wonderful in a way. I would say it is a great capacity to go by a stupid illusion, by a live reality. A live reality is after an illusion. How can the world develop? How can humanity develop? Look at the newspaper reports. Humanity is deteriorating every minute. Because they are insulting their own entity. Their beliefs are duplicated from the environment. Even despite direct experience, they are all forcibly putting themselves into that belief and trying to find salvation. Oh, what a terrible fools humanity contains. Great majority of bloody fools. Ajnana timirandasya. Not able to believe themselves, they are able to. What is the power of that belief? Forget about that. So, these are all by knowings. You shall not be like that. You should have the bloody confidence to believe that you is the critical point. Don't be afraid of the bloody God, okay? I am not telling you. This is the dialogue you should be making to other people. Everybody is afraid of their gods. They are all worried about punishments propagated by the criminal leaders of religion. Certain religions are continuously telling their followers that their only purpose in life is to somehow reach God. Which God nobody knows. They are living only to appease their gods. No other purpose. They want to be in the good books of gods, doing all kinds of havoc to live materials in this planet Earth. Anyway, these are all parallel ideas which I am talking. Forget about the humanity, they are just normal distribution. Understand normal distribution. A truth of humanity. 97% of people are just duplicated selves, just mugged up knowledges, just rote learned doings. And they think they are somebody big and they are controlling the world. Let them control the world, let them control the majority, let all the majority all go together to hell. No doubt. But what I am talking about is the genius in self that you should be. And you have to train somebody to do that. What? Discovering their genius. I say like this because I am so much affected by this stupidity of these great human beings. I am the one who talks on behalf of the so-called God. If there is a so-called God, that God must be, God should commit suicide for creating humanity like this. If that God was created. Which is all mythology, which is all bloody stories only. It's a different issue. Okay. Now a little more covering aspects. Find out what will you identify your own analytical thinking, the power of attention of a young mother. Even if she is so dead tired, the slight movement of the infant would capture her attention. Okay? You have to investigate that. You have to be a researcher. By which only you develop all kinds of wisdom. What is the power of attention of a hunter? How many of you know a hunter? Okay, you do not know about a hunter. What do you think about a real hunter in a real forest? Reflect upon these kind of things, because the purpose of life for a genius is different. He or she is not driven by the normal purposes, though he or she may be working for her survival. But her intent, INT, intent of attention, intent of existence is something much beyond. At least for that retirement time, at least that old age. When nothing matters, when the old age approaches, when the body is weak, your $1 trillion bank balance and your trillion population fame and your whatever, nothing matters. Only your body and mind and intellect matter. Okay? That is the fact. What is the attention of a race car driver? What is the attention of you as a driver? What is the attention of a circus artist? What is the attention of each and every player in an orchestra? How you see in an orchestra, see that in videos. And wonder. Okay? During the BGM or even during the running of a song, a piece of flute, just for 3 seconds. A piece of tune in a violin, just for 7 seconds. A certain other instrument, just for 2 seconds. And he has to take the flute and exactly play that tune in that 3-second gap, my dear friends. They are not ordinary people, though they may look ordinary. In an orchestra, they are the wonders, not the singer. Singer is a singer because he has practiced that song. He doesn't have to bother. He has to know only the timing of the beginning and the end of a line or whatever it is. But every one of that orchestra, absolute manifestation of attention and competency. Attention of a film director, the absolute, I told you in my research, film directors are the most creative people. Their attention to details, oh, great. They are so happy people. When the film stars and other people are craving for fame and recognition, they just don't care. Now only people know film directors. They are absolutely happy because they know that it is their child that gives them that fulfillment. They don't want any appreciation, they don't even get the proper money. But they feel so good about them because it is their creation. That they know. That's enough for them. What is the attention to details, the unique attention of a poet? All of you, every one of you must try to write poetry. That is the highest form of creative conceptualization. That will demand your attention in a different way. Try that. Even if you want to write a poem about a pencil, you will realize that you have to look into some other aspects of a pencil. Do that. What is the attention of a competent policeman? What is the attention of a spy? What is the attention of a soldier on the front? What is the attention of an aircraft pilot? I mean, especially a fighter aircraft. Considering that, what is the attention of a so-called normal worker, especially in Indian companies? What is the attention of a so-called manager in most of the Indian companies? What is the attention level of most of the so-called senior CEOs and vice presidents of most of the Indian companies? Do this exercise so that you will get a little more clarity about attention. What is the attention of a real good teacher? What is the attention of a real good trainer? What is the attention pattern of a female? The males here, Devraj, Arjun, Naveen, Ganesh, Tintin. Do you have any idea about the attention pattern of a female with whom you have been living for some years? Okay. Their attention pattern is very different. Despite the stupid effects of education, which is killing their original wonderful attention of a genuine female, education has killed about 80% of their attention power. That is another thing. Education has killed a lot of things with a lot of people. But that original, powerful, unique attention mode of a female is almost completely corrupted by modern education. That's a different thing. Of course, attention of a male, which is totally different. There are 2 females here or 3 females here, okay. Any idea? What about the attention of a great martial artist? You have seen Bruce Lee films or other films. Okay. Think about this. Write down these topics. Write down as many different so-called professions and what called highly competent people and make an intuitive, creative, analytical research on the possible, probable pattern and depth and form of the attention of the various kind of these people. And at least identify 2-3 factors that will help you. Try that. I hope all of you are keeping a journal to write down some of your thoughts. What is the attention of a dancer? What is the attention of a magician? Of course, very great level, highly powerful. What is the attention required when you are meditating? Very well known term. What is the attention required when you are so-called praying? Where? Where is your attention? You are just repeating a prayer marked up from somewhere and just uttering that prayer, so do you think that you are praying? To whom you are praying? To what you are praying? I am not asking this to you, but I am asking this question to the entire world. I don't care whether the entire world is listening to this or not. But I talk the way I want to talk. I want to ask this question to the entire so-called prayers in this whole world. Where is their attention to? To what they are praying? Where did they get that prayer from? Did they discover the prayer? Do they even know the meanings of their prayers? I ask this question out of my sadness, actually speaking. Because I am a researcher into human condition on earth. I am worried about the misuse, the disuse, the rotting engines, so marvelous engines of the human entity. I am not asking basically to you. I want you also to ask these bold questions to an audience, even if you get only one chance to talk. Okay, 11:45. Attention to your inner domain. Attention to that which you feel within you. Are you sure that you are feeling the body? Or are you sure that you are feeling whatever you are feeling? Your attention is going only to that energy field. What can be called, so-called, some other ideologists talk about the astral body, that energy body within you, which can be measured by modern electronic gadgets. Can you focus your attention to that energy form contained within the cellular process of the body? Try that. What do you really feel as your body? It is almost 99% driven by your visual image of your physical body. That physical body you just cannot feel. You cannot touch that physical body internally. That's why I mentioned on the other day. But here in this context of attention, you try to focus your attention on whatever that you are feeling as your inner body or as your body inside. At that time you will be completely taken by the visual image of your face, your hands, your body shape, etc., etc. Not that somebody can touch it. That your own hand may touch your other hand. Even that is driven by your sense, touch sense. To talk to you completely, your attention can really grasp the entire totality of your inner energy field, and you can get a solid sensation of it. That which leaves at the time of death, or that you can take outside of your body also. That's all very different stories. You can take that astral body, it is called astral body by some literature, whatever is named astral body or energy body or whatever it is, that which you really feel inside you. Get the totality of that, because that is a totality. Your attention has a habit of focusing only on one point, but that will not help here. You cannot lift your inner body like you lift a cat by holding on its neck. You have to carry it in totality by the power of your attention. Let that also be one of your agenda of researching into your being on this planet Earth. Alright. Anything else? All of you had your dinner, I suppose. We have to make it and eat it. Nothing, no problem about that. I just mentioned. Any questions? Write down all these things. Keep a journal. All this will be required at a later point of time, perhaps. Yeah, little louder please, Sora. You keep a microphone near your mouth and talk. No, increase in volume, but okay, let me try, come on. So when you ask that, you know the attention pattern of a teacher and a trainer, you know the attention pattern of a mentor, of an orchestra player, of a footballer, of a gymnast. You know that. Why are you particularly interested in this? I can talk about that, of course, but knowing that is okay, little bit of advantage. Yeah. You can also find out. Male's attention is attention power is more or less the same. I am talking about the pattern of attention. Okay. Yeah. Attention power, perhaps, in fact, I told you originally the power of attention is much more with a female than a male. Yeah. Every female is in general more powerful in attention than every other male in the world history. Because female is the representation of the universe. In her body creation happens. So she is bound to be given with more power of attention just for the fact that she has to take care of the infant. Not in the modern hospital, but in the primitive type. A human creature is created not for the modern hospital, not for the modern office, not for the modern cars, all those things. It is originally created for the wild forest of the original times. At that original times, unless the female of the species is given that attention to details and that sharpness of power of attention and intuition, she won't be able to manage the care of the little infant. Okay, that's why. Point number 1. Point number 2. A female has at least 3 or 4 hormones. If Dr. Vinay was here, he would have told exact number. Than any man in the history of the possible world has. That itself work as extra engines, whether she utilizes it or not. That's a different issue. Her body is much more originally flexible than any male's body. So her movement on the surface of the planet Earth is much more facilitated than that of a man. Got it? Yeah. And that's all different points of discussion. This is about the given fact. That is because of the attention of the male. Male is physically more powerful. Male is eh, Male is actually, in a different sense, more creative than the female. Female is organically more creative, but the male is intellectually more creative. Because the purpose of the male is for getting enlightened, but the purpose of the female is achieved when she delivers a child. Her life is fulfilled. Her existence has made its mark on planet Earth. But equivalent to the delivering of a baby, human child into this world by a female, the only equivalent is enlightenment for a male. Therefore, a male is given more powers of intellect, more sharpness of a different kind of imagination and visualization, and going beyond the boundaries. Only that way he can reach enlightenment. So, because he is given that kind of powers of the intellect, coupled with his power of body, he is more dynamic and spirited. And conventionally, females are limited by their body process and procedures like periods and delivering of child. From historical times, male took domination, that's all. They had the time to go around and hunt for food when the female is sitting at home. They naturally took care of the female because female is an attractive thing. Attraction towards a female is programmed in the male mind. It is not a university degree. So that attention to the female made them dominating the scenario, and in the very act of loving protection, they put the females into a kind of confinement, and thereby the females lost some of the other dynamisms. That's all. So a male's worldview, it is called, is a little different, and examples are everywhere. From time immemorial, the male led the nomadic group into hunting and expeditions and attack and aggression, and that historical consciousness is with the male. Therefore, they feel differently. Their attention pattern is different. For example, just to take a silly example, they look at the beauty of the female, whereas a female may not look at the so-called glamour of a male. I don't know. That only a female knows. The fact that male is driven by the beauty, that itself makes males in a different way dominant than the females. Females are not that much concerned about the beauty and elegance of things. That's why all beautiful things have been created by the males. So the attention of the males are in a way differently created. Males created all the wonderful things that you see on planet Earth now, from pencil to jet aircraft, from poetry to dance to music. Even dance was discovered by the male. The female sari has been designed by a male. Cooking has been designed by a male. Take anything. Only some science, mechanical science, has enabled some females to create something. And science is never a topic of creativity. You do something or the other with a dedication, something will come out and you claim creativeness, that's all. But other than that, all creations, all great philosophers are males. Even the very God is male, accepted by the females, okay? Shamelessly accepted by the females, I would say. That itself shows the primary difference between the male and the female, okay? Anyway, I have not read any literature, by any writing, even by the so-called feminists, okay? Simon de Beauvoir or very well-known feminists are there. I don't think they even conceptualize the male God. Because their attention is so powerless in that sense. All religions created by the males because of their different power of attention. Got a feel? That's all. And females' attention is most of the time controlled by safety and security and things like that. That's why they cannot be very creative also. Almost every creative female is almost, sorry to say, almost like a man only. At the same time, there is even a notion that almost every creative male has a lot of feminine qualities, feminine mindset, which I also feel, even I have that tendency. Even I am feminine in most of my attitudes and values and perceptives. This much to give a slight picture of the difference in the pattern of attention. No, sorry, not the power of attention, okay? Power of attention, I told you, it is naturally high in a female. That's why they are able to live with many men. Otherwise they won't be able to live with man. They are able to know things even without talking, even without going to a place. Yeah. So what did you benefit out of this difference between male attention and female attention, Sarah? It's a knowing, okay. That's all. No, I am not talking about psychology. I don't know anything about psychology. No. I am talking about things that are not available in the world. I am not an ordinary guy. Definitely not. And I want every one of you to say like this and defend it. And you are all extraordinary, definitely, but you don't trust it. That's the only problem. I am very sure one part of your mind tells you that you are great. No doubt about that. But majority of other mindsets and logics and other beliefs and values inculcated in you by the other people are taking dominance over you, and you are not ready to fight against it. You are conveniently and comfortably succumbing to that, surrendering to that. Okay? Insulting that which has created the you. Of course, you did not create you. Some nature process, some mysterious, not mysterious, some core, invariant aspect of the nature only has created you. You are not created by as you think your father and mother. That's all bullshit. No man and no woman can create. It is the function given to the organism. Of course, they do a so-called sexual intercourse. Even that they do as an organic function, not as an intellectual, romantic, conscious, enlightened function. Okay? At least then they can claim an ownership. So anyway, that is not the point. That is one difference between man and woman, okay, Sarah? Man's sexual attention is the stupidest on earth. But almost every female has a very beautiful, romantic, elegant attention to sexuality, which they are also unfortunately forced to surrender before the onslaught of the so-called male in the name of so-called marriage and other philosophies. Okay? Yeah. That is where they are a failure. But that's a sociological crime, making them female subservient to the man. Thereby she surrenders everything to that. For survival reasons also, most of the time, we don't know. We know. There are precise sociology and social psychology about marriage and all these functions, okay? And which they are forced to continue for various reasons, economic survival, sustenance reasons, etc., etc. Alright, body, mind and intellect, all these three should be under the surveillance of the power of your attention. Try to bring that. Attention is a survival sustenance engine given to the organism, equally from the earthworm to amoeba to human being. So that function it will do. Okay, let it do. But to what extent you can get a share of that under your control? And attention to details outside, attention to your expressions, your responses, which you mentioned in the previous session, and attention to your proprioception, and attention to managing the thoughts of your mind, and understanding attention in detail by looking at the various highly competent people or their professions which you know, like I said, teacher, mentor, driver, dancer, orchestra member, etc. And the attention of the meditation, and the attention you have when you do the so-called praying, attention to your deity, attention to your own inner energy field. That is the you. You are not the body. That energy field in the shape of the you is the you. You don't have to go anywhere. The you in you is not a big puzzle the way philosophers are celebrating. It is something very simple. That's why it is very inaccessible. If it was a very major thing, you would have already located it. It is something very extremely deceptively simple. Every moment existing with you. Whatever that is with you, every moment, that is the you. And challenge your attention to somehow get a feel of that you in you. That is the work which will take you to become a genius in self. Genius in self meaning, like genius in physics or genius in music or genius in guitar, you know everything about the you. And when you know everything about the you will know everything about the whole universe. That's a different story. That only when you know you, then only you will know that. You can only talk about it right now. Okay, Tintin. Okay, Ganesh. Okay, Mandra Rishia. Okay, Nitya. Okay, Sara. Okay, Ganesh. Okay, Devraj. Okay, Naveen. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.